Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. To the stellar XLM holders, appreciate all the love, guys. But yeah, let's get right in today's update and really see what's happening with XLM as of October 28th. And of course, as we are obviously going to the end of October. If you guys enjoy these type of updates, make sure you guys, smash that like button so it notifies me that, hey, you know what, you guys are liking this type of content. So, looking across the board right now, as far as the 24-hour time frame is concerned, seeing the broader market seeing a little bit of a minor pullback. I made a Cardano update. If you did end up watching it, great. If not, we're gonna be highlighting what's really going on right now. So XLM right now is down about 1.6%. On the weekly time frame, it is up about 1.9%. But again, obviously, there's a lot of other coins that are outpacing it. But not every coin is going to move the way some of these other coins do, right? Some coins have their time later on, but we're going to be taking a closer look and seeing what's happening with the price. I'm going to be giving you guys my overall analysis on here. But over the last 1 hour, we have seen a little bit of an uptick for the market, which is nice to see. As far as Stellar's price is concerned right now, 31.8 cents as of recording this update, down about 1.3% on the USD side, about 0.3% on the Bitcoin side, with the valuation at $10.2 billion dollars and the 24-hour trading volume at about 900 million. But as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So you guys know on the Crypto ZX channel, we first and foremost talk about the Bitcoin dominance. And you can see for yourself, Bitcoin dominance actually went up to 60.12% earlier today. But we have seen, the dominance pulling down, as you can see for yourself. But, we're still, much higher than where we were last night at about 59.7%. So that's something we want to factor in, but shouldn't really be a shock to anyone because right now, Bitcoin did see a retracement from where it was yesterday. Let's give it a refresh live to really see what's happening. So yeah, Bitcoin was sitting at about 116,000 even earlier this morning, but we have seen a retracement, and the retracement is due to obviously tomorrow's the FOMC meeting, and usually that does tend to happen. And if you've been watching some of my recent updates, I've been saying, this week is very important, but do expect some volatility. But the price is holding above $112,000. That is not bad. So again, Bitcoin coming down compared to where it was earlier this morning caused the dominance to go up and has caused some of the altcoins to see a retracement, as you can see across the board. But what's happening with XLM? First and foremost, I want to talk about October 10th wick. Um, and for XLM, very impressive. Again, correct me if I'm wrong if you guys think otherwise, but I'm looking at the Coinbase chart. So in terms of liquidity aspect, there is a lot of liquidity on that exchange, but XLM price only came down to 28 cents. Only 28 cents on October 10th. That is insane. We didn't even come down to 24 cents. A lot of other coins, as we know, have been impacted quite heavily, from that major pullback. It's not that XLM did not. I'm not saying that it did not. It definitely did, but it held better than a lot of people's expectation. It went down only about 27.58%. But you could see for yourself, we are seeing XLM, still within this accumulation zone, and it did not break below 24.5 cents. That's something I want to point out, which is quite impressive to me. Yes, XLM also has ETF filings. Rex Osprey, I think, is the filer that has filed for the XLM ETF, and I think obviously with the H bar ETF being approved, with the Solana ETF being approved, Litecoin ETF, I think it's imminent that we see bunch of other ETFs being approved. Obviously we're in that ETF hype phase, and I think it's just the start of that. But obviously, as we do go into the future, it's not going to be as crazy to see these ETFs being approved. But the fact that we saw after a Bitcoin and Ethereum, other digital assets that did get that ETF approval is quite revolutionary and historical in my opinion. But if you're looking at XLM right now, XLM obviously did come down to 28 cents. Again, if you got in, I don't think a lot of people were able to get in around here because a lot of centralized exchanges were not operating due to the over volume and traffic on their websites. But you could see for yourself, we did see a 20% increase since this wick. And earlier today we were actually sitting at 34 cents, but you're noticing something. And what I'm trying to tell you is there is some resistance for XLM around the key range, which it actually got rejected at back on the 13th as well, when we did see that bounce after that major liquidation, but we obviously got rejected. Like I said, there is significant amount of resistance. But one thing I want you guys to keep in mind is, Bitcoin dominance. Dominance is higher than, like I said, where it was a few days back. But if we start pulling back down to the 59.5%, and I personally, what I'm projecting is after, the rate cut, which again is pretty much at this point, confirmed based off of probability. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But obviously, the meeting between China and US in regards to the tariffs, obviously, we could hear something. But after that, I think market can really, go up from there on, and really have a good ending to Q4. And speaking about Q4, a lot of people were saying, Bitcoin is going to close for the first time in red for October, but Bitcoin actually turned green yesterday on the monthly, which is insane. And we still have a few days left, 3 days left till the monthly close happens. So a lot can still end up happening. Again, as far as XLM price is concerned, like I said, very impressed, with the way it held that major liquidation. But we want to be targeting the 34.6 cents resistance right now. Break it above here, I think, takes it back up to 41 cents as far as the next target for this price. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys personally think. Appreciate all the love. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button, and we'll see you later. It's been Crypto ZX, and peace.